Good afternoon. I'm Kay Floyd, the Director of William & Mary's Whole of Government Center of Excellence and an alumna.
Good afternoon. My name is Abhi Chada. I'm class of 2020. I'm the Chief of Staff of the Student Assembly and a very soon-to-be alumnus. They're kicking me out pretty soon, Kay.
We look forward to welcoming you into the club. Well, welcome to the live broadcast of William & Mary's 2020 Charter Day ceremony.
We're coming to you live this afternoon from Kaplan Arena on the William & Mary campus. As most of you likely know, Kaplan Arena is home to William & Mary Athletics and hosts a number of campus-wide ceremonies.
You know, before the ceremony gets underway, we're going to give you a little guidance, some insight on what you're going to see during today's event, as well as a little Charter Day history, because what would William & Mary be without some history?
In the audience today will be students, faculty and staff, alumni, friends of the university, and you all joining us by live stream from all across the world, from your homes, from your places of work, and from our alumni gatherings all across the world in DC, San Francisco, London, and way beyond that.
You'll be joining the DC chapter soon, correct?
Very soon.
Wonderful. Well, speakers during today's ceremony will include President Rowe and Chancellor Robert Gates, as well as brief remarks from each of the honorary degree recipients, and this year's student speaker, Tanner Bremen, who I believe you know.
Tanner's a phenomenal person. He, I think, really represents William & Mary and the best of a liberal arts education. He's a chemistry and international relations major, so really has taken advantage of those different avenues here at William & Mary.
Well, we look forward to hearing his reflections on the charter, but I'm going to turn to your area of expertise another time, not just on student advice, but social media, because I'm not 100% sure how to use Twitter.
So, today we have a Charter Day hashtag. It's hashtag WM Charter Day. You're going to see that hashtag up on the screen. And so we're going to actually try it out right now. So we're going to take a selfie and post it on an Instagram story. Here we go.
He promises this isn't too scary. Are you ready?
I promise. Here we go. And there we go.
And feel free to take pictures along the way and share them with us on social media. If you're just joining us, welcome to the live stream of William & Mary's Charter Day celebration. You can probably hear some of the music behind me. That's the William & Mary Wind Ensemble, led by Richard Marcus. The Wind Ensemble, more than a dozen ensembles at the university. We have tremendous musical talent.
To that wind ensemble, we have the William & Mary Choir, led by Professor James Armstrong, a proud William & Mary parent. And we'll also have Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia, one of the a cappella groups here on campus, sing a rendition of Happy Birthday, what's become a cherished tradition here.
Love it.
As well as the ever-present William & Mary Pep Band. And finally, as a special performance, Griffin Bhangra will be performing a South Asian form of dance from the Punjab region of India.
I understand you're a little familiar with this dancing.
Just a little bit. I danced with the team for a year and a half, had a phenomenal experience. It's cardio like you've never experienced it. And they're going to compete all across the country for the next few weeks. They start their competition season next week in North Carolina and go from there.
You can also catch them in the William & Mary Homecoming Parade, where they always do an amazing show. But let's turn a little bit back to Charter Day's history. So Charter Day is the equivalent to Founder's Day. William & Mary was founded by Royal Charter. This is a rather unusual designation, and William & Mary was the first American institution of higher education to receive its charter from the Crown under what is called the Seal of the Privy Council. That occurred in 1693, and so today, we did the math, we are celebrating William & Mary's 327th anniversary, or, as you'll hear a lot today, our birthday. Now, we had the opportunity to both visit the archives. I was getting a little excited here, and you're going to be excited too. I'd like him to share with you some of the tidbits that we've learned, and I'll chime in as well.
Absolutely. So the annual celebration of Charter Day is actually a tradition that was kind of brought about in the 20th century by President John Stuart Bryan in 1937. Previously, we celebrated Transfer Day on August 15th, and it commemorated the official transfer of the charter of the college and its presentation to President James Blair and the faculty on August 15th, 1729. So it's been a little while.
Transfer Day has a nice ring to it, but I think I prefer Charter Day.
We've got the stuff made for it. Why not?
Yeah, it may as well. So now we're going to turn to a little bit of mystery and intrigue, and this is a true story. This isn't a rumor, and we're going to harken back to the American Revolution because the actual original charter is missing, for real. The only mention of the disappearance of the original charter is an extract from the proceedings of the faculty from March 28, 1791. The extract was written by Professor of History Robert Morrison, who taught at the university from 1858 to 1861. The original minutes no longer exist, just this little tidbit. And the extract, which is held in a manuscript form at the Library of Virginia, reads as follows. Abby.
The society being informed by M. Bellini that the original charter of this college, which is lost, which was some years past seen by him in the possession of a certain Karjavina, a native of Muscovy, who declared that it was his intention to deposit the same among the archives at St. Petersburg in Russia, resolved, etc. Professor Evans followed his monograph on the Royal Charter with another on the relationship between Carlo Bellini, professor of modern languages, and the shadowy figure of Karavina, who was actually Fyodor Vasilievich Karsavin, a Russian trader who was in Williamsburg from 1779 to 1780, and again in 1785 to 1787. It's not known if Fyodor Karsavin took the original charter with him, but it is known that it is not in the Karsavin papers of the archives in St. Petersburg. There is some speculation that Bellini either took the charter with him or lost track of it. Happens to all of us.
So President Rowe would like you to know that if you find the charter somewhere, perhaps an attic or a basement, to please go ahead and bring it back home to Williamsburg. Just drop it in the mail.
She will cover postage for you, so.
We'll take care of it. So that's our little bit of the mystery and intrigue. We'll have a few other exciting things you might not know about William and Mary's history that we'll drop in later in the broadcast. But right now, let's turn back to our charter. Being the event's namesake for today, the charter plays a central role in today's ceremony. Later, you're going to hear portions of the document read aloud by current William and Mary students. However, they're going to be working off a copy, and several copies of the William and Mary Charter do still exist. So the copy that we're working from today is believed to have been made for the personal reference of Sir Edmund Andros, Royal Governor of the Virginia Colony at the time of William and Mary's founding, and it's housed in special collections. Abby and I have had the opportunity to spend some time in special collections.
So I went to Special Collections this week to prepare for today, and it's phenomenal. We'd encourage you all to visit when you're on campus next. They house a lot of the regalia that you'll see and we'll talk about in this ceremony today, but they also house papers from Sir George Tucker in the Tucker Carlson Room, along with the second largest collection of dog books in this country, which is pretty cool.
There's amazing things in the special collections that you might not have any idea about, so please do, whether you're a student, an alum, a member of the community, come on by, take a look. You'll learn something new every single day. So Special Collections is going to house 4 copies of the charter, and these are periodically on display. They'll rotate. It is known, this is not a mystery, that William and Mary's first president, James Blair, brought both the English and the Latin versions of the charter back to the university from England. And I think maybe we found one somewhere else?
We did. We found one in a Harvard attic. We think it might have been a dorm room or something of the sort, so if anyone in Jefferson Hall finds anything up in their attic, let us know. But a copy of that was found in Harvard in the 20th century, and Harvard was generous enough to gift it to us then, though it has been damaged by water, so we use the Andros copy as the copy we'll be reading from today. If you're just joining us, welcome to the live stream of William and Mary's 327th Charter Day live from Kaplan Arena.
And we've got a party coming up, right?
Oh, we do. And so right after the ceremony concludes, we invite the whole community to join us in what we're calling #Charnival.
Charnival.
We'll invite the whole community to join us. There'll be food, there'll be music, there'll be a lot of celebration of 327 years of this phenomenal institution.
Wonderful. I look forward to that. We're expecting a crowd of several thousand today and across the weekend. You can probably see on the screen behind us many filtering in, taking their seats, hugging each other if they haven't seen each other in quite a while. You know, while October is reserved for William and Mary's homecoming, this is a wonderful time for everyone to come together. And I think you know how to keep abreast of all the activities going on.
Absolutely. We have complete Charter Day schedules, resources, and links available at the following link: www.wm.edu/charterday. Now, Kay, I hear there's a new tradition on the books this year. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, we're doing a big reveal here. This year, we are featuring stickers if you attended the Charter Day ceremony. So make sure to get your sticker on the way out, or maybe if you tweet to Abby, if you're not able to attend in person, he'll be able to grab one or two for you. But this is a really great extra piece of William and Mary's history, and we're excited to have that added today. So, being recognized during today's ceremony, we can feature a few individuals, are the winners of the Jefferson Awards and the Monroe Prize, as well as 3 honorary degree recipients. Now, if you head over to www.wm.edu/news, you'll see stories about each of these award and degree recipients. They're online, a lovely long bio that you'll be able to view, and really just, I read through several of them, Abby, and the accomplishments from the students to the graduates of the university, those that are being honored, it's just jaw-dropping. So do take a few minutes out of your day and head on over there to that particular site.
I mean, it's to have that kind of legacy of alumni excellence is something to really look forward to, and look at how William & Mary prepares you to go out into the world and make some really phenomenal change.
And a little teaser for one of the students, check out her work on synthetic biology. Just jaw-dropping
Really
research. Yeah, very
Yeah.
neat.
Okay, I don't know if you heard, but Benjamin Franklin received the first honorary degree we ever conferred in 1756. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but that doesn't surprise me because I learn something new every day, especially when interacting with current students. That's cool. So we can maybe claim a little Benjamin Franklin pride here as well. If you're just joining us, you're watching the live stream of William & Mary's Charter Day celebration. The official program will begin shortly, and when it gets underway, sometimes things can get a little crazy. They can move a little fast. So Abby and I are going to give you pieces of information so that you have those ahead of time, so that it's not just a total blur. And in fact, perhaps leading into the medallions a bit.
Absolutely. So a little bit of an inside track on the medallions. We're recognizing 3 alumni medallion recipients here at the ceremony today. This is the highest honor that the William & Mary Alumni Association can confer on a graduate, and it really recognizes these alumni's contributions to their alma mater in a variety of ways. And again, the bios of these people, just looking at what they've done in their lives, is phenomenal and inspiring.
So the ceremony honoring them, separate from their recognition today, is going to be tomorrow, Saturday, at 10 a.m. in the Sadler Center. I highly encourage you, if you are on campus or in the area, to stop by that one. A small confession, the stories are so touching, their contributions so immense to community, to the university, to just life at large, that I cry every year, and I'm not a crier, so...
She convinced me. I'm there, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Be there.
No, that'll be great. And of course, for all Charter Day activities, go hop to the website that we mentioned previously. So, Abby, before it starts getting a little crazy on the stage, what do you say we go ahead and kind of begin to outline some of the pieces that they're likely to see?
I think that'll give us a little bit of an insider track, guys.
Okay, so I believe you can see some of the platform that's behind us, obviously, that will be filled with individuals soon once the official programming gets underway. You're going to see people in very exciting robes, regalia. There's going to be some shiny bling, and people are going to be carrying elements that are very important to the university's history. So, Abby, how about that first piece on the mace?
Absolutely. So we have 2 maces that are going to be used, the college mace and the Marischal mace. The college mace will be carried by President of the Student Assembly, Kelsey Vita, and was actually dated to 1923. The college mace is 4 feet long, and it commemorates our long history.
So the Marshall Mace is going to be carried by Aaron Schwartz, President of the Graduate Council. This mace was gifted to the university in honor of its 300th anniversary by the University of Aberdeen. University of Aberdeen is where William & Mary's first president, the Reverend James Blair, was educated. You will see faculty marshals leading each of the groups in the procession. Chief among them is going to be John Charles, Professor of Kinesiology, and if I may so compliment him, he's a legend in my book. He's led more study abroads, I think, than any member of the faculty, and he's beloved by all, so well done, Chief Marshal John Charles. You're also going to see a lot with the academic regalia. The President Board special guests will wear the academic regalia of William & Mary. Others will wear theirs of the highest terminal degree. And we can focus on the Chancellor for a minute.
Absolutely. So our Chancellor, former Secretary Robert Gates, will be wearing a fairly ornate robe, what he calls a unique blending of medieval academic tradition and Lady Gaga, weighing in at 20 pounds. And it's an honor to have him here with us today. He's a giant in American history, and I had the chance to talk to him, and he's really cool.
So as they come through, you'll see our Chancellor, our 24th Chancellor. You're going to see the badges and the chains of office. The badges are the large medallions at the center. They're a nod to the university's Anglican roots. You'll also see the president wearing a badge and chain of office at official ceremonies outside of the university. Hands off, though. If you touch it without gloves, you're going to leave some damage and some marks.
They didn't let us.
So now that the band is winding up a bit, we're transitioning to the university, and we'll be starting the procession.
At William and Mary, bold moments define us. We push boundaries and find creative solutions. We take risks and pursue our passions. We ignite curiosity and change the world. At William and Mary, we see bold in action. We challenge what is known, explore what is new, and imagine a bold future. We are, and always will be, a university for the bold.
I was born bold.
So we were able to give you the update, the 30,000-foot level of what you're going to see. And now as people walk in, we're going to be able to go into a little bit more detail. Hopefully be able to comment as people pass in front of the screen. So we highlighted the fact that there's going to be academic regalia. As people come in front, you can see start of the procession there on the video screen. We mentioned that the president and board will be wearing the William and Mary regalia. Look for the colors, though, on the others. And you might want to give a little bit more, perhaps, on Chancellor Gates.
Absolutely. So the regalia the Chancellor Gates wears, 20 pounds, as I said earlier. The robe dates from Margaret Thatcher when she was the Chancellor of the University, a very active and involved Chancellor, that is. Robert Gates was appointed as our Chancellor, our 24th Chancellor, in 2012. He was appointed to an unprecedented second 7-year term last year.
Sorry, no, I just got excited. He's so exciting.
Gates is the first alumnus to hold this position in the university's modern era, with our first American Chancellor being George Washington. You can find a listing of our other chancellors in our lovely Charter Day program.
I was just going to chime in that for the older robes, the pre-Margaret Thatcher, they're going to want to head back to the special collections into the university.
It's a really cool place, guys.
So when you're looking at the regalia that's being worn, you're going to see the robe, kind of the main body part. You're going to see the hood, that's the scarf that's going to hook down and go around the back, sometimes referred to as a cap. And for the main part of the robe, that color is going to represent the school, again, where that faculty member received their terminal degree. But then the colors in the hood or sometimes on the arms will show you more about the discipline and the degree in which it was received. And your major, Abby?
I'm finance and government, so I think the robe or the hood that I'd wear would be kind of a light brown.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
it. So I'm strategic studies, so mine's more in the gold family. And of course, this is going to be different based on whether you were undergraduate, graduate school, or sometimes the international programs even go in a slightly different direction. So for the badges, we talked about that. If you're able to see on the screen as they come through, you're looking at that kind of ornate element that's laying on top of the robes. When we say badge, that's that centerpiece, really the large medallions at the center. We have integrated these kind of relatively recently into William and Mary tradition, but of course we want to look back, as we mentioned, to our roots. So about some of the rector's badge.
Right. So the rector's badge was commissioned by the university's first female rector, our chair of the Board of Visitors, Ann Peebles, class of 44. Peebles served as rector from 1984 to 87, and we have another rector with us today.
We do. You're going to hear Susan McGill's name, also former rector of the Board of Visitors. And if you check out her bio in the program that Abby was holding up or online, you'll be able to read about her accomplishments along with everyone else being honored this weekend.
Right. And the president also wears a badge and chain of office at our official ceremonies, including convocation, today at Charter Day, and commencement. All three badges were made by the firm of Thomas Fattorini, based in England. Again, a nod to our English roots and tradition.
And a fun fact, the way they stay so nice and on and centered is there's little teeny tiny pins that will be behind certain elements, so that you have to be quite careful when fastening. Again, we mentioned the gloves and not wanting to tarnish the elements of the regalia. So a lot goes on behind the scenes. We're trying to take you as far back as when they told us and two we can share with you.
Right.
So a few other pieces. Abby, I think I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about some of the others that might be being recognized.
Absolutely.
So we do have a number of people that are going to be highlighted during the ceremony and the like. Again, if We process in a certain way. We have several of the Thomas Jefferson prizes.
Right.
So for some of the students,
Good afternoon. Please be seated.
thank you for joining.
As William & Mary's 28th president, I'm honored to welcome each of you to our 2020 Charter Day ceremony. I want especially to welcome our far-flung alumni, friends, and family who join us via live stream. Over the past year and a half, I've discovered a community that shows up for one another at William & Mary. Thank you for being here today. Charter Day is a time to call ourselves in, to reflect on our traditions, values, and aspirations. And before we begin, I'd like to thank several groups for helping to organize and lead today's festivities. First, our charter establishes a board to care for the university, our Board of Visitors. Rector Littell and board members, would you please stand? Thank you. The Charter Day Committee gathers throughout the year to imagine how we might come together as a community to mark this occasion. Committee members, will you please stand? Thank you. Now, designing and executing a ceremony of this scale is an immense undertaking. Each year, students and faculty and staff step up to make this event possible. Looking around the arena, I see many of you leading from behind the scenes, and around the campus, there are also many who we don't see here. Our police, our maintenance crew, our dining services staff, AV, and many, many more colleagues who've made this wonderful event possible. You may not always be seen, but you are appreciated, so thank you. Our program is also enriched by the creative talents of several student groups. Let me acknowledge them. First, the William & Mary Wind Ensemble under the direction of Professor Richard Marcus. Second, the William & Mary Choir under the direction of Professor Jamie Armstrong. Later in our program, we will see performances by Griffin Bongra and hear from Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia and the William & Mary Pep Band. Finally, William & Mary has an enduring commitment to public service, and we are pleased to be joined today by numerous public officials. Thank you for your service. At Charter Day, we recognize several members of our community whose service and curiosity and bold pursuit of excellence exemplify our shared values. The Alumni Medallion is the highest honor given by the William and Mary Alumni Association. This year, we honor Fran and Goran, class of 1970, Bill Mims, class of 1979, and Peter Nance, class of 1966. Would our 2020 honorees please stand? Last week, we presented the 2020 Thomas Jefferson Awards and the James Monroe Prize in Civic Leadership to Heather McDonald, Chancellor Professor of Geology, Leslie Cochran, class of 2025, and a senior lecturer of English and linguistics. You heard that right? 2005, and a senior lecturer of English and linguistics. So she's wearing a double hat here. Grace Cellini, class of 2020, and Catherine Monfalcon, class of 2020. We recognize Dr. Cochran and Dr. Cellini in absentia today. Dr. McDonald and Ms. Monfalcon, would you please stand? You can read more about this year's award recipients and their accomplishments in your programs. It's now my immense privilege to introduce William & Mary's Chancellor, the Honorable Robert M. Gates. Chancellor Gates is the former head of the CIA and Secretary of Defense. A lifelong public servant, he served under 8 U.S. presidents and is the only Secretary of Defense to have served under presidents from different political parties. Upon his retirement in 2011, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 2012, he answered the call to return to William & Mary, his alma mater, as its chancellor. Last year, I asked the Board of Visitors to take the extraordinary step to reinvest Chancellor Gates for a second 7-year term. The board voted unanimously in support, and once again, he answered the call. William & Mary proudly claims Chancellor Gates as an alumnus from the class of 1965, and we are honored that he continues to extend the call to service to the next generation, recognizing that our students' deep sense of responsibility and duty will be one of this nation's greatest assets in the decades to come. Please join me in welcoming William & Mary's 24th Chancellor, Robert M. Gates.
Thank you, Catherine. Last year, we inaugurated you as our 28th president. The new directions in which you and the board are leading William & Mary are both promising and inspiring, ensuring that we will remain the alma mater of the nation. To one and all, welcome to the birthday party. My congratulations to all those being honored today, especially Christy, Susan, and Tom. A few months ago, William & Mary's board officially adopted a values statement for the university. William & Mary, of course, has had values for centuries, but now they are explicitly and eloquently stated. And it's wonderful that today's honorees are so exemplary of those values. At this institution, so instrumental in refining the ideals undergirding the nation's founding, we take pride in the abiding lessons of William & Mary for our own time and for all times coming. Specifically, we create a welcoming and caring community that embraces diverse people and perspectives. We foster an open academic environment. We recognize that personal growth and meaningful accomplishment requires courageous risk-taking. We treat each other with mutual respect, recognizing and upholding each person's inherent dignity and worth. We engage in diverse perspectives and seek wisdom and progress in bridging differences. Too often in America today, we seek wisdom by leaning into echo chambers, seemingly convinced that volume increases veracity. Too often in America today, we seek reinforcement of our views rather than the enlightenment of respectful dialogue and debate. Too often in America today, we deny the inherent dignity and worth of those with whom we disagree. Too often in America today, the academic environment is anything but open, conforming to closed-mindedness and denying the meaningful accomplishment and personal growth accompanying intellectual curiosity. Too seldom in America today does one find a welcoming and caring community that embraces diverse people and diverse perspectives. 327 years ago, America needed William and Mary before there was a United States. The need is just as great today, and perhaps greater. I have worked for 8 presidents of the United States and known many politicians in both parties for more than 5 decades. And I never met one who had a monopoly on revealed truth or wisdom. To overcome the challenges our nation and world face requires a willingness to listen and to learn from one another, an ability to see and understand other points of view, and the wisdom to calibrate principle and compromise for the greater good. Core to William and Mary's ideals is the open exchange of ideas and tolerance and willingness to listen and learn, and the willingness of all to defend the freedom of expression of diverse opinions, to seek wisdom in bridging differences. These qualities comprise the history and the essence of the William and Mary experience. In the urgent endeavors that lie before us, I have no doubt that the graduates and scholars of William and Mary have a special role and a special obligation to be part of finding solutions. That is the challenge that lies before us, one for which William and Mary has prepared its students for 327 years. Thank you.
The university's tradition of conferring honorary degrees dates back to 1756, when Benjamin Franklin, an innovator, writer, and statesman, became the first recipient of an honorary degree at William and Mary. This year, we will confer honorary degrees to 3 distinguished leaders. Our trio is united by their devotion to serving others. They exemplify a commitment to understanding the world and to changing it for the better. We've prepared 3 videos highlighting their luminous accomplishments. Following each video, Rector Littell and Chancellor Gates will come forward to confer the honorary degrees. After that, we will hear brief remarks from each honoree.
I have this mantra about my work, and I say, we'll never get right with each other until we get our shared history right. And that has been just a part of me for a really long time. So it has guided every bit of work that I've done, even when I know that some of that history is extremely difficult to digest.
I met Christy when we were both young undergraduates at William and Mary. She was always asking us to think about things differently and not to accept the status quo. She truly is fearless. She has taken this incredible topic of slavery and been able to incorporate some difficult questions and getting people comfortable with being uncomfortable. She's a master at it.
Christy's achievements started early in her life. You can go to Colonial Williamsburg and see the video of her as a very young woman up there portraying an enslaved woman, dealing with the crowd as well as embodying this painful history.
At that point, I knew exactly what I was going to be doing with my life, and that I knew that I had this opportunity to meld everything that I loved, right? And that is to be able to make a positive change by helping people understand our shared history.
From that period on, I could see it has marked how she has approached history and being able to tell the story. So when she was at the Black History Museum in Detroit, or here at the Civil War Museum in Richmond, her approach to history has been, let's make sure all voices are heard.
And her vision is everybody is going to have a chance to hear the stories that have been untold up to this point. And not only are these people going to be included in the museum, their images are going to be as big as those of the generals and presidents.
I think Christy is deserving of this honorary degree because she embodies what this degree is about. It's about living your passion, making a difference, and I'm really proud of her and so excited that she is getting this due recognition.
William and Mary's remarkable tradition, its great lineage of being a place where history is not only honored but studied. Christy is a very fitting match with William and Mary.
I've tried very hard to be as authentic with myself and with my work as possible, and to find ways to draw us all closer together. Sometimes I feel like I've been successful, and sometimes I'm deeply frustrated because you realize just how ingrained some things are. But at the end of the day, I know that the work that I've been fortunate to do with remarkable people over a career that now is 35 years plus, that I've been extraordinarily lucky and extraordinarily blessed to do it.
Christy Coleman, please join the Chancellor and me at the podium. Christy Chevelle Coleman, you have spent much of your life advocating for the power of museums to tell a fuller and more consequential account of our shared past. As an innovator and pioneer, you have fiercely asked tough questions about who and what a museum is for, pushed for change to a more inclusive version of our heritage, and shattered ceilings at some of the top museums in the nation. In 2008, you assumed the helm of the American Civil War Center. And then in 2013, you guided the successful merger of that museum with the Museum of the Confederacy to create the American Civil War Museum in Richmond. In all of your roles, you have excelled in the art of telling complex and even anguishing stories with a grace that enables deeper understanding. In 2018, Time magazine named you among the 31 people who are changing the South, and you garnered a spot on Style magazine's The Richmond Power List. In 2019, you lent your expertise to Focus Features film Harriet as a consultant. Now, after 12 years at the American Civil War Museum, you are returning home professionally. As executive director of the Jamestown-Yorktown Foundation, you are making history once again as the first woman and first person of color to steer that foundation. We look forward to the ways you will realize its potential as an engine of innovation in U.S. history. Among your first expressed commitments is to cultivate the next generation of underrepresented museum leaders there. William & Mary is proud to honor you for your pioneering and courageous leadership.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the ancient royal charter of the College of William & Mary in Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Thank you very much to the Chancellor, to the President, to the board, faculty, and staff for this extraordinary honor. And for those of you who may not know, part of the reason why I'm so emotional is because I never thought that I would ever gain a degree from William & Mary. I entered in 1982, bright-eyed in the freshman class, and out of 1,300 students, 46 of us were people of color. And it was a struggle. Emotionally, it was a struggle, but I worked really hard, and I formed friendships that have lasted me over 30 years, some of those people in this room today. But here's the thing. For the 2 years that I was here, it helped shape who I am, and for that I am eternally grateful. I am eternally grateful because I learned who I was in the midst of the storm. I learned what I loved and what my passions were, even though the path that I thought I was supposed to take by coming here didn't end up being the path that was best for me. But William & Mary stayed in my heart through the friendships. It has stayed in my heart by watching each new class achieve things ours couldn't in terms of equity and inclusion and diversity. And I know that I am standing here because that heartbreaking year in 1984 when I told my parents that I was ready to go, I couldn't stay at William & Mary anymore. And I knew I was breaking their heart. Because you see, I was the first grandchild to actually go to college. But they hung in there and they never gave up. They told me to pursue my dreams. They told me it wasn't over. Just find your passion and work your passion. So here I am. And I guess the greatest lesson that I can share with you about that is sometimes the path that you think you're on that gets you to that goal isn't the one you belong on, but you'll still make the goal. Thank you all so very much. I am deeply, deeply honored.
Honorary degrees are what they say. They are to honor someone who's made a series of very distinguished contributions at the very highest level. I think Susan has brought an intellect, an expertise, and a quality of commitment to her service that's more than deserving of this recognition.
I would say Susan is gracious, kind, loyal, a citizen leader, a public servant, a person for others. And I really think that sort of service leadership is what defines Susan in her career. And if you look at her time in Washington, on Capitol Hill, serving the Commonwealth or the college, that's really the common denominator, I think.
Susan McGill popped into my life early on when I'd just gotten to the Senate. And she was then serving two wonderful congressmen and the governor of Virginia. So she was really ahead of me in politics.
I think she's a rare creature of the Washington metropolitan area. She's not only wicked smart, intelligent, thoughtful, and responsive, but she's exceedingly charming. She's a person of grace who you want to call up, you want to work with, you want any opportunity that'll present itself to sit down with Susan and work together. She's successful, she makes progress, but she does so in a manner that just genuinely makes you feel better about yourself and better about the mission you share.
She's got a gut feeling for where the problems are, and then she's got really that leadership that says, let's get the faculty and the students, everybody we need, let's get working on the answer. And then if it works well, really sort of turning the credit back to everybody else and never to herself. She's really remarkable that way.
She had been beautifully trained. I like to think she came out of the Valley of Virginia, where she was shaped and molded by your institution, William and Mary. And the product of that I benefited from for 25 years.
Well, Susan has really had a lifelong love affair with William and Mary. It's always William and Mary first. We were working on a project in Charlottesville, torrential rain just pouring down. And I pop up the umbrella, and Susan looks up and says, "That's a UVA umbrella. I'd rather get wet." And what she got. And she marched off, got soaking wet, and went right into the meeting.
I think Susan would say, like so many William and Mary alumni would say, so much of what she became, she owes to the place where it all began. I think it's become a deep part of who she is, a deep part for whom she's grateful, and I think she's always had a service ethic of giving back, and we're all the better for it.
Susan McGill, please join the Chancellor and me at the podium. Susan Ahern McGill, throughout your career, you radiated a passion for government, for your country, and for your home state of Virginia. You launched a distinguished career in Washington in 1973, a time when few women worked on Capitol Hill. U.S. Senator John Warner hired you as a legislative aide, and you rose quickly to become his chief of staff. For more than 2 decades, you were Warner's right hand. You served as executive director of the Joint Congressional Committees on Inaugural Ceremonies for President Bill Clinton's second inauguration. In 2006, you retired from government service and stepped into the role of Managing Director of Government Relations and Philanthropic Services for Pew Charitable Trust. Throughout your career, you remained closely connected with your alma mater, serving on William & Mary's Board of Visitors for 9 years. In 2003, you made history as only the second woman to assume the role of rector. You served on the Commission to ensure integrity and public confidence in state government and the State Council of Higher Education in Virginia, which you chaired for 2 years. You are a charter member of the University Society of 1918 and currently chair its leadership committee. For your life of service to your country, to the Commonwealth, and your alma mater, William & Mary is proud to honor you.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the ancient royal charter of the College of William & Mary in Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service, honoris causa.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Chancellor Gates, Rector Littell, members of the Board of Visitors, President Rowe. I am humbled and deeply touched by this honorary degree. I share it with so many who've helped me along the way. This honor has caused me to pause and think about what's so special about William & Mary, and why has it been such a special part of my life? You could see in the video that it has, although you should know that none of us have seen the video that you saw. We saw it for the first time along with you. But William & Mary is the touchstone where I return again and again when I need to be refreshed and prepared for the next chapter. What did I learn from this superb education at William & Mary? To listen deeply, to think critically, to write clearly, to talk to everyone about anything, and to give back. And I learned these lessons from my outstanding professors and also from my fellow students, many who are still treasured friends to this very day. It was a tremendous privilege to serve on the Board of Visitors with so many dedicated and gifted colleagues. We were a team which I attempted to guide with the spirit of inclusiveness, listening to a variety of opinions. And I can assure you, we had a lot of opinions. When we were facing tough issues, I often turned to the students who gave us very important perspectives. I know that still happens today. A trusted and vocal student advisor was my daughter, class of 2006, and the other members of the crew team. As members of the tribe, we have been given the tremendous gift of a William & Mary education. And with that comes a tremendous responsibility to give back to our college, our commonwealth, and our country. My career of service has been immensely rewarding, and hopefully I've made a modest difference along the way. I encourage you to become an engaged citizen in whatever way works for you. William & Mary helped launch my career of public service by pushing me out of my comfort zone to encounter different people, new ideas. I tried to listen respectfully, carefully. Today, partisanship in Washington is largely fueled by those on both sides of the aisle who think they have all the answers. Some would say I had a successful career in Washington, and I can assure you I never had all the answers. No one does. It's one thing to be sure of yourself, and quite another to be so confident that you quit listening and respecting others. This is a daily challenge for me, as it obviously is for many of our current elected officials. I'll keep trying, and I sure hope they do too. Thank you very much for this honor, and go Tribe.
Well, the mission of the State Department is to implement the policy of the United States of America in our diplomacy. It is the home of diplomacy. Ambassador Shannon has been steadfast in his understanding of all of those priorities, and he's dedicated to putting the best foot forward for America in terms of our values, protecting our interests, meeting with folks to find the ways to solve the problems, diffuse the conflicts, make the peace, and making sure that America is respected and credible.
He's one of the most important public servants of his generation in the United States. He's someone who managed to walk this very fine line amidst different administrations, different political regimes, doing it with such respect and just honesty. I think is a really amazing trait and a testament to his really long career. He's one of the most successful foreign service people in our country still living today.
Tom prided himself in being a sort of dusty road diplomat. You really got your reward. You really had your sense of accomplishment when you worked in places that were difficult and literally got the dust on your boots, walking around in unpaved dirt roads, meeting people and building relationships. As ambassador in Brazil, he had a great connection to the people, a great personal kind of diplomacy, which was really legendary within the department. I mean, everybody knew of Tom's capacity as a diplomat. And that was because he went to these tough places. He built relationships. He knew how to make it personal.
I served in countries that were in the midst of profound political, economic, and social transition. And as an American diplomat, I was in a position to help shape those transitions and do so in ways that reflected American interests and American values. And I'm very proud of that.
People like Tom. He's likable, and that's a very important ingredient of building relationships and being a good diplomat, is you don't step on toes, you don't push your elbows into people, you work together for the greater good and the greater goal. And Tom has always been known for having that in mind. And I think that's characterized his entire career.
I think probably something that Ambassador Shannon doesn't realize is the impact that he's had on people around the country and around the world. He openly and honestly listens. He offers advice. There's real engagement. So I think for me personally, I learned a lot from Ambassador Shannon, and I think he's probably taught a lot of people around the world, and he's probably impacted more people through those simple engagements than he realizes.
Although history does not bend itself easily to individual wills, collective wills, when they're determined, can have an impact. And I do believe that the United States has had an important and positive impact, and I was grateful to be part of it.
Thomas Shannon, please join the Chancellor and me at the podium. Thomas Alfred Shannon, Jr., you once said to be an American diplomat is a high calling. Time and time again, you have answered this call with unwavering devotion. Your 35-year career in the U.S. Foreign Service culminated in 2017 when you became Acting Secretary of State. Over the course of that career, you served under 6 presidents and 11 secretaries of state. While overseas, you guided countries experiencing profound change and transformation to the benefit of both the United States and the countries in which you worked. In 2016, President Barack Obama appointed you Under-Secretary of State for Political Affairs. As the 3rd highest ranking state official, you managed regional and bilateral policy and oversaw diplomatic activity across the world. You worked as counselor and senior advisor to Secretary of State John Kerry. You represented your country as U.S. Ambassador to Brazil from 2010 to 2013 and achieved the rank of Career Ambassador, the highest rank in the U.S. Foreign Service, and a title conveyed to only the most accomplished diplomats. Despite your demanding schedule, you have returned to your alma mater on numerous occasions to share your experience, knowledge, and insight with future generations of diplomats and policymakers. For your distinguished service to the nation, your alma mater is proud to honor you.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Visitors and the ancient royal charter of the College of William and Mary in Virginia, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Public Service, honoris causa.
To Chancellor Gates, to President Rowe, to the extraordinary women and men of the College of William and Mary, to all of you here today, thank you. Following Christy Coleman and Susan McGill, it's hard for me to be more elegant or more eloquent, except to underscore how important the college has been in my life. This is not an honor that I won by myself, and it is not an honor I can claim for myself. It was the product of teachers, of mentors, of family and friends. But it starts here. It starts in Williamsburg. It starts at the college. It starts with a small group of friends, classmates, and professors in the government department and the philosophy department who taught me how to think, who taught me how to read, who taught me how to analyze and understand. And it expanded over time through an academic career and a career in the United States Foreign Service. And I owe so much to those who taught me the importance of listening, of understanding, and of trying to find ways to bridge divides, to ensure the ability to cooperate and collaborate across time. But this extraordinary institution, an institution that has shaped and molded the minds of Americans since the beginning of our great nation and before, that has been a point of reference across the entire trajectory of this nation's history, is remarkable in its own right, but especially remarkable because of how it has transformed itself over time under extraordinary leadership. And it holds for America great promise. And as I look into the future, and as I've spent time with the students of William & Mary, I've come away enthused for the future and hopeful that I will be able to participate in some of it. Because I know in the young women and men who are being formed here, our nation still has greatness. Our nation still has vision. Our nation still has purpose. And as Secretary Gates noted, this is a time that calls on all of us to involve ourselves in public life. Those of us who work for the mightiest of all sovereigns, the American people, but also those of us in business, in art, in academia, and beyond, who serve our nation every day. To all of you, I tip my hat. To the students, I urge you to have no fear, but to engage with the hope and enthusiasm that this world demands, and to remember that we indeed are a great nation, but we are a great nation not because of who we are, but because of what we do. And what we do is defined here at William & Mary. Thank you all very, very much.
I want to thank all three of our honorees for those beautiful reflections and for the opportunity to celebrate your extraordinary service here today. The writers of our charter took a forward-looking approach, boldly imagining an institution for all times coming. Today we reflect on the past so that together we can fearlessly and with level heads chart the future. In that spirit, it is our tradition to read portions of William & Mary's Royal Charter. After the readings, Tanner Brayman of the class of 2020 will give reflections on the Royal Charter.
William and Mary, by the grace of God, of England, Scotland, France, and Ireland, King and Queen, defenders of the faith, etc. To all to whom those present, letters shall come. Greeting.
For as much as our well-beloved and faithful subjects, constituting the General Assembly of our colony of Virginia, have had it in their minds and have proposed to themselves to the end that the Church of Virginia may be furnished with a seminary of ministers of the gospel, and that the youth may be piously educated in good letters and manners, and that the Christian faith may be propagated amongst the Western Indians to the glory of Almighty God.
To make, found, and establish a certain place of universal study or perpetual college of divinity, philosophy, languages, and other good arts and sciences, consisting of 1 president, 6 masters or professors, and 100 scholars, more or less to be supported and maintained for all time coming.
And forasmuch as our well-beloved and trusty, the General Assembly of our colony of Virginia aforesaid, has humbly supplicated us by our well-beloved in Christ, James Blair, clerk, their agent duly constituted, that we would be pleased not only to grant our royal license, but also to extend our royal bounty and munificence towards the erection and foundation of the said college, in such a way and manner as to us shall seem most expedient.
Desirous that forever hereafter there should be one such college or place of universal study, and some certain and undoubted way within the said college for the rule and government of the same, and of the masters or professors, and scholars and all others inhabiting and residing therein, and that the said college should subsist and remain in all time coming of our special grace.
That they may have the power to erect, found, and establish a certain place of universal study or perpetual college for divinity, philosophy, languages, and other good arts and sciences, consisting of 1 president, 6 masters or professors, and 100 scholars, more or less graduates and non-graduates, as above said, according to the statutes and orders of the said college, to be made, appointed, and established upon the south side of the York River, on the land now in the possession of John Smith, to continue for all times coming.
And further we will, and for us, our heirs and successors, by these presents do, grant that when the said college shall be so erected, made, founded, and established, it shall be called and dominated forever the College of William and Mary in Virginia.
In testimony whereof, we have caused these our letters to be made patent. Witness ourselves at Westminster, the 8th day of February, in the 4th year of our reign, by writ of the Privy Seal.
Good afternoon, President Rowe, Chancellor Gates, Rector Littell. Today is an historic day, so of course, I will start us off with a history lesson. William was not born the King of England. In 1688, in what became known as the Glorious Revolution, he invaded and deposed his uncle, King James II. As his fleet neared the English coast, the Dutchman, lacking in English tongue, asked his advisors what he should say on landing. They replied, "Say, I am here for your greater good." When William landed at Brixham in southwest England, a great crowd had gathered to meet him. William disembarked and stood proudly. He proclaimed, "I am here for your goods." Perhaps Mary should have done the talking. 332 years later, in light of what William did not say, I want to consider what our royal charter does not say. Our royal charter granted our institution, administrators, and teachers the authority to exist, work, and teach. It granted us, the students of William and Mary, the opportunities to learn and to grow. It even granted our fledgling institution a small sum of good and lawful money of England. The charter did nothing, however, to establish what we owe in return. What King William presented and what our charter failed to say is that we have a choice. Each of us must ask ourselves if we are here for the goods or for the greater good, and then answer in kind with our actions. When we come here, we accept an obligation to make something of the opportunity that is William and Mary. If we are here for the greater good, we must establish individually for ourselves how we will benefit the greater good. Now, I cannot begin to say where our efforts end, but I think I know where they start, for all of us. As students, faculty, staff, and alumni, we do not just have assignments and work, essays and meetings, exams and donors. We have daily opportunities to make good on our obligation and what we owe to our community. And until we recognize when and how to satisfy our responsibility in full, our daily opportunities are the best that we have. So, on this Charter Day, each of us must consider why we are here and, going forward, act on it. I ask us to commit ourselves not only to the greater good in the larger sense, but also to the greater good in the smaller sense. The greater good is not limited to momentous feats. No, more often its pursuit boils down to a daily struggle over our passions and priorities, manifested in the smallest of our choices. Did I do the reading? Was I engaged during lecture? Did I answer completely? What did I do instead? Was there something more that I could have done? The opportunities to pursue the greater good are everywhere. All that's remaining is a choice. What more will you give? And how soon can you start?
Thank you, Mr. Brayman. We mark our university's 327th birthday during an important year. We are engaged in strategic planning, taking a long view to advance what we value most. This long view is my theme for today as we call to mind William & Mary's charter and history. We began the planning process focused on our vision, mission, and values, as you've heard. Together, we affirmed who we strive to be as a vibrantly diverse community. The full vision, mission, and values statement appears on the back of your program. I hope you will read it and digest it. For now, I want to focus on the conclusion. Here it is. We reflect on the lessons of history to meet the challenges of a rapidly changing world. We engage diverse perspectives and seek wisdom in bridging differences. Today, we are unceasing in our efforts to make a meaningful difference in our communities, the state, the nation, and the world. Since last year's Charter Day, I've often been asked the question, how might we make William & Mary's long history an asset in the decade to come? One answer: we are building on 327 years of innovation, and we're not done yet. As we chart our path, we have a responsibility to take the approach, both of the historian and the entrepreneur, with curiosity and firm commitment to excellence. This is an exciting year for another reason. As many of you know, 2020 is the centennial anniversary of the 19th Amendment. The amendment reflected passionate and sustained advocacy from trailblazers such as Mary Church Terrell. My fellow president and Shakespeare scholar, Dr. Ayanna Thompson, invoked Ms. Terrell's famous maxim, "to lift as you climb," at last year's Charter Day ceremony. At the 1898 National American Women's Suffrage Association convening, Ms. Terrell said, "With courage born of success achieved in the past, with a keen sense of the responsibility which we shall continue to assume, we look forward to a future large with promise and hope." The 19th Amendment dramatically expanded suffrage. However, its success at the time was limited. It was not until 1965 when the Voting Rights Act expanded the franchise. We look back on this history in order to grapple with weighty questions we now face. Who is enfranchised today? How might we advance prosperity for all by inviting new partners into our political, social, and economic systems, into the ways we tell history and the ways we innovate? Charter Day calls us to reflect on our university's history at a key moment in strategic planning. We've completed a robust external scan of challenges and opportunities ahead. The results are available on the planning website. Now, as we engage the findings of that scan, we will formulate problem statements about those challenges and opportunities, and those problem statements will drive our strategy in the decade to come. So, we need to hear from you. What do you find powerful? in those scans? What would you add? Let me close with 3 pressing questions that are front of mind right now and give examples of the ways that we're beginning to answer them. First question: how might we welcome and amplify new voices in our learning community? Our new Entrepreneurship Hub in Tribe Square invites students, faculty, and staff from all areas into the mindset of successful change leadership. Diversity accelerates innovation. This year, more than 50% of those participating in the Hub's programs will be women, more than 40% underrepresented minorities, and more than 60% come from majors outside the business school. And this spring, William & Mary launched an Institute for Integrative Conservation. The Institute combines the expertise of academic, public, private, and nonprofit sectors with a key goal to build a pipeline of underrepresented scholars pursuing sustainability and conservation. We're growing partnerships with international conservation organizations such as Nat Geo, Conservation International, the Wildlife Conservation Society, and Rainforest Trusts in order to build capacity in the regions where conservation and resilience are most necessary. Second question: how might we strengthen our connections and our collaborations across this campus and beyond? I've just given you one example of an answer with the IIC. Here's a second. We will revitalize Kaplan Arena as part of a reimagined William & Mary Athletics Complex. This renovation creates a crossroads for our campus where we can gather, welcome new students, and cheer on our teammates. The renovation also recognizes how important the city of Williamsburg is to this campus. We see it as a crossroads for the community as well. If we do our jobs well at William & Mary, we create lifelong relationships. We've learned how durable those can be during the course of our For the Bold campaign. Remarkably, we have grown alumni participation dramatically in spite of precipitous drops around the nation at other institutions. We only have 4 months left to reach our $1 billion goal, and it will take all of us to close the campaign triumphantly. So thank you for being such great teammates as we sprint across the finish line. Charter Day takes a long view of William & Mary. The past 3¼ centuries embolden us to lift as we climb. We plan our future in service to our Commonwealth, the nation, and the world, imagining a place of universal study and belonging for all times coming. So now, to celebrating those values and our bright future, I'm pleased to welcome Griffin Bhangra for a special performance. Then Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia will perform Happy Birthday. Griffin Bhangra, the floor is yours.
It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like
Old age ain't so bad. We think you ought to know that we hope that you're chartered for the longest time.
Thank you, Griffin Bangra and Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia. Now, a few final logistics. We will continue the party at our Charter Day Carnival, #Charnival. Due to today's gale, Charnival has been moved inside, so hark on over to the Commons Dining Hall for food and fun. On your way, students, please sign the 2020 Charter Day banner, which is located on the mezzanine on your way out, and pick up your sticker. We will preserve your signatures for all times coming in the university archives. To the audience, we ask that you remain at your seat until the platform party has departed the stage. After the recessional, the pep band will play us out. Now, please stand and join us for the alma mater. Choir, take it away.